In this episode, we have a Yamaha XMAX300 engine. Generally speaking, whenever an engine from a user ends up in my shop, it's usually not for anything good. This machine here, the oil filter was installed backwards again. So, I want to remind everyone once more. For these types of internal filters, when you put the filter cover on, if the cover sticks out significantly, then you must pay close attention. Look at this timing chain. It's an Anuma EK chain from Japan, manufactured in Indonesia. When talking about modified scooters, the brand that immediately comes to mind is definitely Yamaha. From the early Yamaha Force and Jog, veteran tuners probably know all about them. That modification market was incredibly booming, especially in Southeast Asian countries. So why does everyone choose Yamaha bikes to modify? It's because they have a great foundation. For example, the quality of materials, the tuning of the chassis structure. Just these points alone set them apart from competitors. Even in the Southeast Asian market over recent years, it's mostly the Yamaha NMAX. And this XMAX taking the lead. On the other hand, it shows that Yamaha scooters offer a high level of playability. I believe this is also why Yamaha refuses to compromise for the market. You all know how competitive the domestic market is right now. But Yamaha's big bikes haven't dropped their prices. Look, the bikes you see most on the racetrack are the Yamaha R3S. Next is the Ninja 400. Honda's twin-cylinder 400 is hardly even seen. Actually, if you observe carefully, when you put a 321 cubic centimeters displacement bike in the same class as a 400 cubic centimeters bike, on some level, hasn't this 321 cubic centimeters Yamaha R3 already won? The XMAX300 is the same way. Of course, from a user's perspective, if they don't cut specs and give us more discounts, that would surely be better, don't you agree? Look at the timing chain, it's a 3x4 silent chain. The brand is D.I.D from Japan. Yamaha has always been generous with engine materials, and their technical level is high. For instance, the single-cylinder VVA, variable valve actuation, on the NMAX 155, the cross-plane crankshaft on the R1, the 270-degree crank they used early on in the MT-07, and the triple-cylinder MT-09. It's fair to say that without the MT-09 engine, our domestic triple cylinders wouldn't have come out so quickly. Alright, look at the cylinder head structure. It's a single-cam, SOHC, 4-valve setup, using roller rocker arms. And the rocker arms drive the valves directly. No valve lifters are used. Take a look at the rocker arms. There is no visible wear here. Since the filter was backwards, the head wasn't getting oil. This rocker arm shaft also shows no wear. The way to adjust valve clearance is by changing these valve shims. Look at the camshaft. The camshaft has a decompression valve to reduce resistance the next time the engine starts. The camshaft bearings are a bit hidden. You'll need to zoom in to see. They use NTN bearings from Japan. Next, let's check the cylinder block. When oil is low, you fear a scored cylinder. The XMAX300 uses a DiASil cylinder, which is unique Yamaha technology. Look at this shine, it's like a mirror. There are two scoring marks. Someone once said that Yamaha's DiASil cylinder technology is an outdated tech from the car industry. Actually, that's incorrect. Silicon aluminum cylinders in cars might be old tech, but Yamaha's version is different from theirs. See? You really can use it as a mirror. Look at that reflection. You should know that back when Yamaha was building car engines, even Toyota was trembling. And you know what happened after that? Of course, no matter how good the cylinder is, it's ruined if it lacks oil. Look at the piston. Yamaha uses forged pistons. But, with the filter on backwards, no oil reaches it. It definitely can't withstand that. Yamaha's forged pistons might not look as pretty on the outside as other brands, but where is the brilliance? It has a very low expansion coefficient. The origin of this piston is Indonesia. The XMAX300 piston rings are low-tension rings to reduce the friction coefficient, resulting in better fuel economy. Later on, Honda also adopted these types of rings, but I'm not saying Honda followed Yamaha. Low-tension rings have existed for a long time. Okay, let's split the crankcase. The crankshaft uses plain bearings, bushings, not ball bearings. These bearings are from Daido, Japan. Daido bearings are very easy to distinguish. The balancer shaft uses NTN bearings. Bearings. They are made in Taiwan province. This is the balancer shaft. Speaking of balancer shafts, previous users of the YBR 125 should have a deep impression of them. In the domestic market, Yamaha was likely the leader in letting everyone experience the benefits of a balancer shaft. The vibration is truly minimal. Let's remove the crankshaft. The connecting rod doesn't seem to have discolored yet. It probably wasn't running dry for long. Let's take it apart. The balancer shaft bearing. On the other side is also an NTN bearing made in Taiwan. NTN bearing. The owner didn't bring the transmission parts of this engine. The front and rear pulleys usually use FCC from Japan. The belt is Mitsubishi from Japan. Okay, remove the connecting rod bolts. Let's look at the bearing shells. They look okay. The copper hasn't been exposed yet. If the copper isn't showing, there's usually no big problem. This is a copper-based bearing shell from Daido, Japan. The shell on the rod half, to be honest, is still usable. The wear marks are normal, as long as the shell is still shiny and feels flat to the touch. It's fine. But it depends on what the owner wants. Hey, do you think Yamaha's quality is just that good? Or did the owner catch it just in time? The crank isn't damaged, only the cylinder set is ruined. Look at the parting line of the crankshaft. This is definitely a forged crankshaft. The oil filter is installed right here. By the time the owner realized something was wrong and tried to reinstall a new filter, it was already too late. So, reminding all owners once again, be very careful when installing this filter. If it's backwards, the cover will protrude a lot. Alright, disassembly is finished. Yamaha never disappoints. In terms of materials and technology, they haven't let us down. I bet the biggest hope everyone has is for them to offer more discounts. If you liked the video, please give us a like. Thanks for watching, and that's it for this episode.